Hey there YouTube, this is Derek Murphy of creativity.com. It's been a while since I've been making YouTube videos, mostly because I've been focused on writing, but I wanted to update you on two big changes that happened recently with Amazon, and then I'll also fill you in on some of the things and projects that I've been working on behind the scenes. So the first one is about book reviews. I don't know that this has been confirmed, and Amazon is always, messing around and changing things, but apparently what used to be the case was that negative reviews always floated to the top because Amazon has kind of a review feature where people can vote whether a review is helpful or not helpful. And what always tends to happen is that any negative criticism of your book, people vote for more because it gives them a reason not to buy or not to like the book. And then it feels like, people who love the book that give great reviews, those don't impact the purchasing decision for people who actually buy the book, but they do impact the purchasing decision for people who don't buy the book. So what tends to happen is you have, thousands of reviews, but the really negative one-star reviews are on top of your Amazon page, which sucks. I have seen recently, it seems like that's being phased out a little bit, where Amazon, I think the case was that Amazon really wants to protect consumers because their real audience is not authors, it's the readers or consumers. So they want to make sure that readers really know what they're getting by showing the negative reviews first, so they're not disappointed later. And that makes a little bit of sense, but it sucks for authors. So what seems to be happening right now is that it's a little bit nuanced, a little bit more balanced, where less of those negative reviews are showing up on top of your Amazon page, which they shouldn't because they're, really old, and started to prioritize more recent reviews at the top of your Amazon page instead, which is probably a better feature. I'm hoping that lasts because that should make it better conversion for authors, and you should get sort of a general, like if you have a 4.6 average star rating and hundreds of reviews, it's not really fair that your handful of low reviews show up on top of your Amazon page. So I think that's a good change. I hope it sticks around. Let me know in the comments if you've noticed this change on your Amazon page. And the second really big change has to do with refunds for books in Kindle. There has been a trend mostly this year on TikTok where readers are telling each other you can read a whole bunch of books and then just get your money back when you finish reading them. And Amazon's refund policy allowed this to happen, where readers can just download a bunch of books and then ask for their money back and get their money back. This has been a big problem for indie authors who have organized and mobilized a little bit. It seems like there are talks in discussion with Amazon, and they have kind of said they're going to get rid of that policy, and they're going to make a new policy where once you've read 10% of the book, you can no longer ask for a refund. I actually think 10% is a little bit too early. I think maybe like 25% would have been fair. But this is a big win for authors because it means that if people buy your book and download your book and they start reading it at least to the first 10% or so, they're invested enough to have gotten their money's worth and they can no longer ask for a refund. So this is a positive change because it does defend authors specifically, not just readers and consumers. But it's also important for Amazon because Amazon also wants to make money. There's a balance between, they want to keep their authors happy a little bit, but Amazon's main business is not services for authors. They actually used to have services for authors that they discontinued, like editing and cover design and stuff. That's not their business model anymore. They want to keep consumers happy, but they also want to make money from consumers. They can't just let consumers, buy a bunch of products and then get all their money back with an easy refund. So those two changes are pretty significant going forward with Amazon. So some quick updates with the creativity platform and network. I've been buying a lot of other platforms and blogs this year. I've also been working on a cover design and book promo graphic online tool that's kind of like Photoshop for like 6 years. It's never been coming together yet. I feel like maybe we're getting close to the end of that road and I'll have a tool that I can share with you. That's going to get really exciting because then I can finally start to make graphic design templates that you can just open and edit and use to make book cover designs and promo graphics. I think that's going to be really cool and exciting if it ever gets finished. So I lost a lot of my enthusiasm and momentum earlier this year, and I started just buying other people's platforms or tools because it felt easier. But now hopefully I'm getting closer to a finished product on that end. I also lost a lot of motivation earlier this year. I was really close to finishing my first ever series with my third book, but it turned out not only did I not make that deadline, but the book was twice as long as it needed to be. And so I had to split. It would have been like 180,000 words. So I had to split it up. And now I'm finishing that second part of the now fourth final book in my fantasy series. I've been writing fiction for about 6 years, but I've never finished a whole series yet. So ideally, in a perfect world, I'll finish this fourth book pretty soon, and then I still have 2 months until the end of the year. I'll be doing NaNoWriMo to work on another final book in a different series. If you read my fiction, which you probably don't, that's the Scarlet Thread series, which is based on Greek mythology, and the Taste of Vampire series, which is a vampire dystopia. Those were also two of my most popular series. So once I finish those, I'll redesign all of the covers. I've been experimenting with AI art, artificial intelligence, fantasy art, with pretty good effect. There's a lot of discussion and controversy over AI art for book cover design, which I address in a blog post that's, huge and very long. But I might experiment with that for my own cover design. And I'll be able to finally really focus on scaling up in a big way with Facebook and Amazon ads, which weren't profitable with an incompleted series, but should be profitable with a completed series. So I might, hopefully by the end of the year or early next year, be in a very different position with my writing, where suddenly, my 25 or whatever novels haven't been profitable yet, but might suddenly be a lot more profitable once I can advertise and scale with products that convert in terms of a completed box set and a completed audiobook box set, which is pretty important. So that's what I've been investing in and building for a while. Once I finish those two, I'll go back to all of my other series, which I have one more series which needs one final book, and then a whole bunch of series that need a second book. I have 2 series where that second book is half done, and then I have a bunch of other series where I only have the first book. So once I have profit coming in from my fiction, hopefully I can spend more time invested in my fiction to finish up all those other series kind of quickly. I've been talking about book marketing and advertising and book promotion for a long time, but I haven't really been able to do big, significant case studies where I actually show you the positive results in terms of income, because I haven't finished enough of the work yet. So that's personally what I'm excited about, moving into a very different stage that's taken me years of work to get to, and having some really positive results to share. So hopefully you'll stick around and sign up for my YouTube or subscribe. I know my videos are a little bit stream of consciousness, rough and unpolished, but I also tend to share pretty useful writing, publishing, and marketing tips. And I do have quite a few glowing testimonials from hundreds of authors who have found my stuff useful. So I'm sort of like an acquired taste. It's a little bit difficult to get into at first, but I also share a lot of value that you can put into practice to see better results right away. I hope that you think so as well. I hope you leave me some comments if my videos have been useful for you, and subscribe if you haven't yet. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.